Hi everyone. In this video I'm going to show you some a cool feature that I've created for the Blender game engine, and it's an example and it's not a final solution. But there's been a number of people posting about creating the ability to slice meshes during the game engine, and as you know that's not technically possible because we don't have the ability to modify mesh data in that manner. But I've created a demonstration tool which actually does allow you to slice meshes, and it works using a two-stage process. What we do is we basically take all of the slice information, which is the object you're slicing, the line along which you slice it, or more accurately we actually work out a normal of a slice plane, but that's irrelevant. And then we send all that data over to a server which is listening for information, and this server is running in a modal operator, so we can still use Blender as it's slicing. And then if I show you here, we connect to the server and we can start the game engine. And if I slice down the middle here, you'll see that it slices the object and saves a copy. And this basically happens in real time, so you can see what's going on. And it deletes the data that it uses for slicing, so you can't see really what's going on. But what it uses is a slice plane, and it then physically creates a plane to do this and then deletes it afterwards. Now the other alternative is using the bisect tool, but I found the bisect tool didn't work very nicely with complex meshes, although I could have been just using it wrong, or had it didn't work with Suzanne, but I haven't tested it on other types of meshes apart from spheres and primitives. So I started using the Boolean tool. Now the way that you get this to work for you guys, I've created this is a second video because of my original one was a little bit different. But essentially, in your folder, the zip folder I'm going to release, you will have the following files. You'll have network, which is necessary. You'll have host.blend and main.blend, and then some Python files, and the slice.zip won't be there because that's my version. But essentially what you need to do is in your main.blend, which is just an example file, on the empty, I've assigned a file path, and that's the name of the current blend file, and you need to set that so that it can load this blend file when you're slicing on the server. And then it runs this script on the empty every frame. So if you wanted to use this in another file, as long as you've got an empty or whatever kind of object running this game logic here, with this property, file path, populated with the file path of your blend file, then it will work. And you also need to have the host running. Now the host file you don't need to change, you just need to load it up in Blender and click run script. If you do that and then press escape, now that crashed I suspect because I've already got a server running and I haven't done any error checking. But if I press escape here, you'll see it throws an error because I've stopped the server and I haven't carefully done that. I haven't finished implementation of that, but it doesn't really matter. So click run script and it'll keep running, and that's all you need to get the whole thing running. So if you wanted to actually modify how this thing works, then the place you're going to be looking is in the slice mesh function in replicables.py, and also in the slicer Python file which feeds data into that component. It's split across two files just to keep things simple, but the actual meat of what's going on is happening in the network code, which is here in the BPI interface object. And although it's very specialized to doing a certain kind of operation, you can still modify that yourself. And essentially what's happening is we create some set information that we use later on to define the object that we were slicing and apply the slice when we receive it from the server. And that's basically what these three functions are doing. But yeah, I wasn't originally going to use my network library, but actually I realised that it would save me a lot of time doing it that way, rather than writing a custom socket application that then had to handle disconnecting and so on, which I already now handle in the system. So it turned out to be for the best, and this network library is the basic one. It's not the if you go to PyAuth server, which is where this is hosted, I won't show you now. This is just the network folder. Okay, so I'm going to zip this up now, and I'm going to put it on Blender Artist as a new file, and then you guys can give it a try.